Have a good day. So,
that was a good tune, Mr. Coleman. So, Mr. Coleman, how do you think the necessary and proper clause is relevant in everyday situations?
well, the necessary and proper clause is, what is necessary for whom? For who, right? Proper for who? The problem with the clause is precisely that it's subject to interpretation, right?
Yes.
So if the people that are in our government are not to your liking, then what they think is necessary is against your interest.
So, Mr. Coleman,
Yes.
a statement in the United States Constitution, Article 1, Section 8, granted Congress the power to pass all laws necessary and proper for carrying out the laws by Congress, also known as the necessary and proper clause. How do you think this affects modern government politics?
Well, it says that Congress can pass out any necessary and proper law. So if it's not specifically enumerated, that they have this kind of ability to do what they think is fit. And that goes beyond the denotative meaning of what's in the Constitution and those clauses that precede the elastic clause. So, this is really a question, I think, of mob rule. It's a question of voting for somebody who's crazy. It's a question of making sure that people can be prevented from doing the wrong thing. So if a mob, that it says Congress can make a law. Congress represents people, right?
Yes.
So let me see if I can make it simple. The bigger the group, the dumber they are, right?
Okay.
So if you have like a group of people that decide on something that's really stupid, and they say, well, it's necessary and proper, like Hitler got elected, right? The German people in 1933 said it was necessary and proper, right? So what can you do to prevent that from taking place? Because now you have a clause in the Constitution that says that Congress can make a law, Congress, the group, can make a law for something that's necessary and proper. So who's going to be the one to stop that kind of insanity from taking place? So the problem, I don't know why I'm laughing, I'm sorry people. The problem with this clause is that by being so elastic, it doesn't give people the checks and balances that they need. Us because it gives the Congress permission to do things that are not explicitly said in the Constitution. So you think about the U.S. government, how it has billions and trillions of dollars that come out of taxpayer money, right? So what you do with that money really matters, because you have an opportunity to buy a lot of guns, a lot of computers. You can, what are you laughing at, bro? You can do a lot of stuff with that. But that's a lot of power, right? That's a lot of power. It's power in ways that you don't know. Can someone tap your phone? Can someone monitor what you're doing when you're walking down the street? You laugh at it, but a lot of countries do that to keep themselves in power, right? So if you have a clause that says necessary and proper, it gives people a license to do things that are not necessarily, that are not in the Constitution. It's a problem. Because that kind of overthrew the Senate and that kind of thing. The point is, in a media age that we have, where information communicates so quickly, people can make really dumb decisions really fast. And that means that we are all affected. But not only that, but because it's mass media, the bigger the group, the dumber the group. We're having a conversation so we can kind of critique each other, ask questions. But if you have one guy making a speech in front of 500,000 people, and his name's Adolf Hitler, there's not many people going to be asking questions there. You know what I'm saying?
I
But
understand.
now you amplify that by a couple million because everybody got a smartphone and they're listening to the thing on their phone. The conversation can get dumber and dumber as more and more people listen to it. It's kind of interesting, right? But what does government need? Government needs to think about things over a long period of time. It needs to be smart. It needs to kind of like dot the I's, cross the T's. The problem with the elastic clause is that it takes a process that requires deliberation and can turn it into an impulse decision. That's what's going on.
So that's how it affects the.
It's a dangerous, I mean, it may be necessary, like maybe, I don't know, but maybe an elastic clause was needed for like Hurricane Katrina. Maybe it was needed for some natural disaster. Maybe even for 9/11. But it could be really bad for us too, because if we make the wrong decision with this elastic clause, it could cause a lot of damage. The whole point of the Constitution is to take time and think about it, right? You get an election, you have a president, he proposes a law maybe, the Congress passes the law, then the president signs it, then the judges look at it again, and they kind of say it's unconstitutional. It's a slow process. By stopping that with the elastic clause, it's a risk.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Coleman,
Yeehaw!
for your input.
I did all right.
Yep. Yeah.
I didn't suck completely.
Oh God, I'm recording.
No, you record.